This is a short story that I've put together just to illustrate the diversity in our lineage. This particular story starts in nation of Burundi, uh, but then it develops uh, into stories of the ancient kingdom of Karagwe, and a kingdom that existed from the 14th century, a kingdom that was viewed as um, a trading route, a trading hub of East Africa. Of course, this is a kingdom that attracted a lot of attention and curiosity from global powers. This is the first place, point of entry in East Africa that was visited by explorers. And indeed, this continues to be uh, an area of keen interest for global powers. It's important for us to know our own history, starting from personal journeys and family lineage trees to understanding how we ought to build a greater future. This is just one among millions of family stories from one of the most diverse kingdom and region on the African continent. It's a tribute to my parents who passed away not knowing um, all their family heritage stories, and I hope that others as well also be inspired to build their own stories. I thank you.
The Living Archive, Genetic Memory, and the Royal Line of Karagwe. The subject of this study, Desire Joseph Katihabwa, carries within his genome a complete, dynamic history of global movement. A history far older and more complex than the colonial era boundaries of Africa suggest. His DNA is a living archive, capable of resolving ambiguities where written records fail, yet serving not to replace, but to authenticate the spoken word of his ancestors. The core tradition holds that the connections were manifold: ancient ties to the Beta Israel of Ethiopia, coastal contacts with Portuguese Sephardim in the 1500s, and recent intermarriage with Yemeni traders in the late 19th century. The deep paternal connection, A1B1M118. This is not the signal of a recent visitor, it is the genetic signature of a deep foundational kinship. It confirms the oral history of an ancient Ethiopian connection, suggesting shared ancestry dating back to the grand migrations of Nilotic and Cushitic pastoralist groups who moved down the Nile corridor millennia ago. The kings of Karagwe and the ancient Jewish community of Ethiopia share a biological anchor point established during the very formation of East African societies. The grounding, maternal line L0A. Intriguingly, L0A reappears later in the narrative. While it anchors the Karagwe line to the African continent, it is also found in 15 to 20% of Yemenite Jewish maternal lines. This subtle overlap illustrates that the migratory story was two-way. Even centuries ago, the ancestors of today's Yemenite Jewish community were marrying East African women, bridging the Red Sea not just with trade goods, but with shared kinship. The chronology of contact, the Yemeni trader. Mathematically, inheriting approximately 4% of one's DNA from a specific external population suggests that the ancestor carrying that full genetic signature existed 5 to 6 generations ago. This calculation places the birth of the ancestor squarely between 1850 and 1880. This genetic timeline aligns perfectly with documented history, verifying the oral account of intermarriage with incoming Yemenite Jewish traders and travelers who frequented the Karagwe kingdom during the late 19th century. The Global Network, Ancient DNA Matches. Most dramatically, the route passed through the Christian kingdom of Makoria, modern Sudan, around 750 AD, proving the ancestors migrated down the Nile corridor, a historic route for exiles fleeing conflict in the north. Further north, a match to a Moor of Cordoba, 950 AD, provides the genetic proxy for the Portuguese-Sephardic connection, tracing the Iberian signal that entered the royal court centuries later via the Zanzibar maritime trade routes. The genetic profile of the Katihabwa lineage proves that the Karagwe kingdom was not an isolated entity, but a crucial nodal point in the pre-modern Afro-Eurasian world.
I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope that you are inspired to write your family story so that we can complete the puzzle of untold stories of the African continent. Let's promote unity, let's promote love, and let God heal the world. A special thought for countries where there is conflict, from Sudan to the DRC to other regions. We pray for peace, we pray for unity, and we pray for reconciliation in 2026.